Our class meets during period 6 today, and I'll start by answering any questions you have that on topics that you want to review before our test on Thursday, or we'll go over any problems from the review packet that need clarification. But then I'm going to move on to our lesson 1-6 on relations. And our objectives are to represent relations, and we'll talk about various methods, and to interpret graphs of relations. Today is just about the background information and all of the terminology that goes along with it. We're going to be looking at the coordinate plane. And a coordinate plane is developed or created by the intersection of two number lines. We're familiar with the horizontal number line because we've graphed points on there. But if I take a second number line and turn it on its side like this, I now have a coordinate plane. I have my x-axis and my y-axis. And I'm sure you've done some graphing on a coordinate plane before. We'll talk about the quadrants, we'll talk about x and y intercepts, we'll do that all in class. But for the time being, let's remember that the coordinate plane is just formed by those two intersecting number lines. We can graph points on a number line because if I give you an ordered pair like 2, 1, I'd go over 2 and up 1, and I would graph that point. Speaking of graphing the point, this ordered pair is your x and your y values. X always goes from left to right, and y is up and down. So we have those horizontal and vertical lines. We'll talk a little bit more about that in class. So a set of ordered pairs is called a relation, and a relation can be represented in several different ways. We're going to look at it in equation form. We're going to represent it in a graph. We're going to look at a table of values, input-output tables, and we're going to do something called mapping. So let's look at mapping first. Mapping is a way for us to show or illustrate how terms from one section relate to another. We call this our domain and our range. The x values are our domain, and the y values are called our range. We look at them and we say that they're also our input and our output. Now, in a relation, we're noticing that numbers get paired together. And this is a visual that says that the value x, or my domain of 0, goes along with a y of 3. My domain or input of 2 goes to 5, watch the arrows, and 4 goes to 7. And these are now the ordered pairs, the x's and y's, written in ordered pair or coordinate form, and then they can be graphed on a coordinate plane. Let's take a look at the second one. Again, some ordered pairs. I have 1 that goes with 16. I have 2 that also goes with 16. And then I have 3 that matches up with a range value of 17. So you see that from mapping, it shows us what numbers in the domain, what elements in the domain are paired with elements in the range. And then we could rewrite those as ordered pairs. And the next thing we could do with that is actually graph them. So I'm just giving you some background information today on this next section. So it's sort of like a preview lesson today. I really want to spend most of our time answering any questions you have for our upcoming test. So short video, short introductory lesson, and we'll meet up 6th period. See you then.